when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Welcome back to the next major section in the next video. I want to kind of always jump right in here and really quickly just go over what I missed out on last time, because I had the little side recording device display, and so I got rid of that. I found a way to hide it, and so what I'm going to do here is I want to jump right into the Google Chrome editor, but before that I guess I got to open up this file. And here we go. We've got exactly where we left off. We have our text in boxes centered off to the left with different color and background and stuff like that. We talked about being consistent with our H1 and our other elements when we're targeting with our CSS. We talked about that kind of stuff in the beginning. And then what I wanted to go into before we left was looking at the inspect element. And so there's a couple different ways we can get there. We can use inspect, which will pop this one up. We can also do something by going to view developer, and then inspect elements is the one we would want. But basically a lot of these kind of bring up the same thing, and you just kind of navigate the tabs. So in this case we're just trying to inspect the elements here, and so that one would be normally command option. Did it say command option or option shift? Let me double check that. Developer, boom, inspect elements. So command option shift C. Excuse. So if we go command option C, it'll pull it up for us as well. And then we can hit escape to open and close that little console window down there. Or you can just hit the X down here and it does the same thing. And if you hit escape, it brings it back up. So for your information. Now that said, this is the entirety of our document that we have. It's got all my notes down there. It's got a breakdown of the elements, and so as you can see, when I highlight over something, it gives me kind of the space around the elements. So you can see that I have some padding that it's showing, I have some margin that it's showing, and then it's showing the main content space as a block level element. And we'll talk more about that kind of language a little bit more in depth here in the near future. So the one thing that I want to start out with is, like, when we click on any of these, it selects the element for us. But if we're curious what where in this, a lot of times it'll be concealed. Excuse me. It'll be everything will be kind of childed and collapsed, and you won't get the expanded view. And so in order to find that, what you can do is you can go here to this little picker, and you can actually just pick the element you want, and it'll highlight it for you down here. And that works across the web. It's a really unique, nifty tool. There's a lot more reasons I like it, but one of the main things that I like about it is just that it's easy to use. It's the main one that, to be fair, it's the main one I was introduced to, and you kind of have a tendency of sticking to what you know. And so lack of experience with other browsers would be a big reason that I use Google Chrome, and distaste when I was introduced to the other browsers, but that was back in like 2017, 2018. So, I had a distaste because I didn't like they weren't easy to access. I couldn't right click and inspect, and it wasn't developer friendly for me as a new developer. And so I just kind of stuck with what I knew with Google Chrome, and seems to be the popular thing, and etc. So that said, it's also easy to use. Like I mentioned, getting that element picker out there, we can visualize the styles. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and take a quick look at that. One thing that I didn't do here is show you the styles. So when we have something selected, like let's say we do select this, it gives us the dimensions of each part. So this right here that you're seeing is the actual content, and then like it says, padding, border, margin, and this one has no border right now. But let's just pretend for a second that we wanted it to. We could try and, let's see if it will let me here. border 10, 10 pix solid. Hey, there you go. And so you can kind of change things on the fly and look at what they look like right in this little editor piece. And you can see, okay, here's the content. Here's the full length of the content container, if you will, and then the padding around that. And then you've got your border, and then you've got the margin. Then margin comes between those things. So that's the content. The padding goes around the content in between it and the border, and then the border is kind of the edge of the total of the element, more or less, and the margin is what's between elements. So we'll get into more detail on that kind of thing, but that's basically something that I thought would be, you know, kind of nifty for you to see and know. And if I hit refresh here on the page, of course, those borders do go away. Nothing is being saved or permanent until I actually go in here, and if I was to update my CSS to include that border, then it would be more permanent, because every time it builds, even when I refresh it, it would build with that border. And so hopefully that makes sense. This cord is causing me to right click a bunch. Let's see if I can avoid it more now. And so that's really it on this. And what I'm going to do is I am going to close out the app.css, and we already talked about a little bit here. We talked about Google Chrome and why I use it. Oops, too much. And next I want to go into a closer look at the CSS rules. So in the next video I'm going to be talking about the CSS that I actually just closed. I should have kept it, but that's not a problem. We'll still go right through it. So I'll be right back with that video, and I will see you there. Wrong.